The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good morning and good evening, everyone. Welcome and thank you for joining today's webinar. Today, we have a SmartBots product lead Pushwatam and business analyst Praveen. They will be walking us all through the new features available in our Q3 release for SmartBots. Before we move forward in the session, if you guys have any questions, please feel free to ask them using the question window. At the end of the session, we will have 5 to 10 minutes of question and answer round. If you guys have any questions, feel free to use the question window to ask these questions. Praveen, you can, Purushottam, you can take it forward from here.
Yep. Thank you, Karan. Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining this session. I'm Purushot. I'm the product manager for SmartBot. With me, Praveen, he is the business analyst for the same product. We both are going to present the session today. So today we are going to show you the common features of SmartBots, and we are going to give you the Q3 changes, whatever we have made for the SmartBots. So let us get into the session now. So here you can see our agenda. So these are all our Q3 changes. So we are going to see SmartBot grid functionality, and we are going to see mouse over drag and drop enhancement, and we are going to see consolidated log report and data migration report changes, and enhancement on the validation in a particular report, and we are going to see the playback test run feature also. So these are all the topics we are going to see in this session. And apart from that, we are going to see our the existing features of SmartBots. Yes, we'll go for the next. So here you can see we have a lot of products into the ChainSys platform. So here you can see data SAP. It is for data migration, and we have the data Zen. It is for data quality management, and we have the data Sense. It is for data analytics, and we have the SmartBots. This is what we are going to discuss today. It is for any business process automation or testing automation, so or any RP kind of functionality. So we can use these SmartBots, and we have a smart app builder. So wherever you want to build the custom application, we can use the smart app builder. So this is the highlight of our all our products from the ChainSys platform. Yeah, go next. Yeah. So here we are going to see SmartBot features. So before getting to this, I'll really what is SmartBots. Like SmartBot is for process automation. So you can automate any kind of process where we are spending your hours, like doing the repetitive task. So say for example, if a person is creating the invoice into the application, like every day he is creating 1,000 invoices manually into the application, in the same application. So we can automate that process using the SmartBots, and he can spend the same time on the some other activities. Like that, in any major application, we'll be having the testing cycles, like it will be the major task. So we will be doing all kind of functional testing in across all the modules. So for that, we have our ready-made templates, which will work for all ERPs like Oracle EBS, SAP, Oracle Cloud. So you can use our SmartBots, which will help on the automated testing into the ERP application, as well as if you want to have custom application testing. So we have the feature for that. So you can use SmartBots to test the custom application also. So and one more thing is, like if you are doing any process, like you will be manually performing some transaction in one application, then you will get into the another application and you will do some transaction. If you want to automate all those processes, whatever you are doing manually, and if it is a repetitive task, definitely we can use the SmartBots for all kind of these automations. And the nature of this product is like it will open the application, whatever it is. It might be a desktop application like Windows application, or it can be a HTML application. Either it can be a ERP, or it can be a web application which is customized for your need. So we can automate all the application by using these SmartBots for different kind of need, like automation testing and process testing, process automation, and RPA. So When you automate through the smart bots, so we have different kind of features which can be used to fulfill the business need. So the first one is recording. So recording is like before creation of any bot, we will be recording that flow. It could be a sample flow where you will be performing only one transaction. Say for example, if I'm going to create a bot for the invoice creation automation, I have to perform a sample invoice creation transaction in the target application. It may be Oracle Cloud or SAP system, and for that I have to use the smart bot recording feature. So what it will do is, when I start the recording, whatever the actions I'm performing on the application, it will capture all those actions and keystrokes and locator for those elements. So it will capture all the information when I do the recording. So you just perform the transaction and all the keystrokes will be captured by using the recording, and this recording will be converted as the bot. And after converting the recording as the bot, we have the multiple activities which you can use for the bot construction, because the bot which is created with the sample transaction will not fulfill all your needs, like what are the different scenario we're going to test. So definitely we have to add a lot of validation and we have to make a lot of checkpoints into the bot. So for that we have different kind of activities here. Like we have the verification activity, like where you can verify the condition, like this particular field has this value, like that. If you want to validate during the flow, we have the verification activity, and we have the assertion activity also. This is for the condition checking, like if you want to validate, like this field has this value. And the difference between these two is verification will allow to proceed even if the validation got failed, and it will capture the result. But the assertion will stop the execution when the validation got failed. And we have the conditional activity, which will be very useful when you want to route the flow based on the different condition. Like if the particular application is on the particular org, then do this organization, or if the current organization is the different one, then do the different kind of execution. Like that, you can configure the flow by using the conditional activity. So we have the option to validate the condition, like if else you can construct the bot by using the conditional activities. And we have the screenshot activity where you can add the screenshot in the execution report. So while executing this bot, it will generate the fine report in the background. So you can decide wherever you want to screenshot, wherever you want to include the screenshot into the document by using the screenshot activity. And we have the options to log in as a different user during the bot flow. Say for example, if I'm a normal user, I can only create the invoice, but the approver has to approve that invoice. So definitely we have to log in as a different user. So for that we have the options to log in as a different user and perform the transaction, and then log out from there and continue the previous process. So like that, we have different kind of activities where you can use when you construct the bot. So now we have recorded and we have created the bot by using our activities. So now we are good to execute it. So for the execution, we have our unique features called parallel execution. Say for example, in Oracle Cloud, if you are going to test around 100 cases of dependency, you can parallelly execute it. Like in a single system, parallelly you can run n number of sessions based on that particular system configuration, like 5 sessions or 10 sessions. So parallelly you can test n number of bots, so it will reduce your time. So so that is the one of our unique feature. And next one is scheduling. And scheduling is like, in case of in Oracle Cloud, if you are going to run 500 bots to be tested every day, or if you are building a custom application and if you want to build the test cases for that, and if you are going to test it every day, like by using bot, and we are going to test 500 cases every day, you need not to manually go and run it. You can schedule like what time it has to be executed, and then you can just monitor what is going on. So automatically when the time reaches, it will start the execution and it will do the testing. So you have the option to scheduling the bots also. And next one is, we have the option for distributing the execution. Like if you have the 500 bots to be executed every day, you can have the 5 VMs and you can distribute the 100 bots to each VM. So simultaneously you can distribute the execution to different VMs also. So that is a very useful process when you have more number of bots to be executed every day. And next is our reports. So the report will give you the very detailed information, like what happened on each and every step, like for a particular field, what value has been typed, and on particular element, what action has been done. Like that, it will capture all the information, and it will capture the screenshot of any error. Like if any error happens, it will capture that error screenshot, and so you can check the status of that bot, and you can check the document and see in which stage the bot has errored out. So it will capture all the information, and it will be like a user manual also, if you want to have a step-by-step information where the new user for the application can follow that instruction, and he can create that transaction himself. So it will be like a very helpful document for monitoring purpose, as well as for the new users for the learning purpose as well. And next one is patch analysis. Like you have multiple bots created for the Oracle Cloud or SAP system. So we'll be having the question like if any future release is coming in, so there will be some changes definitely on the application. So what will happen for the existing bot? So for that, we have patch analysis feature, which will automatically compare with the current release, and will show you the difference. Like these are all the fields got modified from the previous release, so you can review those changes and you can apply the changes, and you can directly use that bot for the future release also. So it will help you by spending the time on the analyzing the changes from the finding the difference in the current release. So you just run the patch analysis and see the difference, review the changes and apply the changes, then it will be good for the future release version also. And we have the privileges, like where you can specify the access, like this particular user can create the bot and this particular user can execute the bot. Like that, you can categorize the roles and you can assign the privileges for them, so based on that they can access the bots. And next one is portation. Like we have developed all the bots and we have executed, so definitely we may have the need to move the bot from one environment to another environment. So for that, we have the different options like versioning as well as the export and import. So you can check in into our versioning system, and you can check out on the different connection also. And in case if the system itself, here different system, if you want to export from one environment to another environment, so we have the export and import utility. So these are all our common features from smart bots. So we are going to see our Q3 changes next. Go next. Yeah. So this is our grid functionality. So grid functionality is like, as I mentioned, SmartBot has the capability to distribute the executions. Like when you have multiple process, you can distribute that process to different VMs. So here what you can do is, when you log in into the SmartBots, we have the options like either you can log in as a grid or as a normal user. So when you log in as a grid, it can be added into the grid or workbench. So once you configure that VM into the workbench, so it can be assigned to the bot. Say for example, if I have that 10 bots, I can categorize like the first 2 bots can go for the first VM and second 2 bots can go for the second VM. Like that, you can have multiple process, and you can assign the bots like in which VM it is going to get executed. So automatically during the execution, it will pick the bot, and it will see like it will maintain all the execution bots into the queue. Like it will pick like once the execution is completed on one VM, it will take the next one and it will execute it. So it is going to be like distributing the execution to different VMs. And we have the status like online, offline, and ongoing. So online is like which are all connected now, the VMs which are all connected into the grid now. And offline is it is already connected, but currently it is not available. And ongoing is the ongoing process of bots what are all currently executing. So you can see all those information into our workbench. So this is a very useful functionality when you have more number of bots, like 500, 300 to be executed every day. And if you want to distribute the process, it will be a very useful process. Yeah, Praveen, go next. So here we are going to show you how we can add the VM into the grid. So we are going to show you the steps now. So here you can see we are login as a grid. So we have selected grid as the option, and I'm going to log in with my username, and we are going to enter the VM display name also here. So this display name will be very helpful when you add the VM. So you can see which VM it is, and you can add it into the grid. So now we are getting into the grid, and there we are going to add it. So here you can see sample VM release is there, so you can see the information. So here you can see what is the platform and what is the IP address and what is the browser path. If it is any web application, so we can use the browser driver path also. And here we can mention like how many parallel session can be executed on that particular VM itself. It can be 5 or 10 based on the system configuration. So here we are showing our audit information, like when it is created and who has modified it recently. So now we have created the VM, and the next one is we are going to assign that VM to the user. So we are searching for a user who is going to use that VM now, and we are going to search for the VM which is added into the grid. So that is a sample VM. So we are searching it, and we are going to assign it now. So we have selected it. So now we did the assignment for the VM to the particular user. So if that particular user is going to execute any bot, it will get executed on that VM itself. So here you can see like in the connection, we are going to mention like in which mode we are going to execute all the bots from the connection. So here you can see execution type as client grid. So here we have to select the grid option to utilize this feature. So now we have configured the grid, and we have added the VM into that, and we have assigned that VM for the particular user. Now we are good to execute the bot for the grid. So we are going to execute bot into the grid now. Then go next. So here we are going to see how it's performing when we do the execution using the grid functionality. So yes, here we are going to execute 2 different bots from the same connection. So you can see it will be routed to 2 different VMs. So here first we are going to assign those VM for this particular user. So here we are searching for the user, and we are going to search the VM from the grid now. So we are searching the user now, and here we are going to search the VMs from the grid. So it's searching for the grid. So it's selected on VM, and it's assigning the 2 VM for that particular user. So when you run any bot, the bot queue will check either that particular VM is available to execute the bot. If it is available, it will route the process to that particular system. So we are going to run 2 processes now. We are running the bot with the test data. We are uploading the test data, and we are running the bot. Here you can see 2 VMs are connected, and you can see parallelly in both the VMs the execution will get executed. So you can see parallel it's performing the transaction. Like that, you can have different system as a target, and in the same in one system itself you can run the parallel session also, and you can distribute the execution to multiple systems too. So we have all the options like parallel execution as well as the distributed execution when you have more number of bots to be executed every day. So this will be a very useful functionality, like when you have more number of bots, and it will reduce your time. So so it will give you the detailed report of like what happened on each execution, in which VM it got executed, and what is the status of it. So you can see the execution summary also. So this is the way our grid functionality will work. So it will be very useful for you. And we are going to see the next feature from the Q3 changes. So we can go for the next. Yeah. So here you can see mouse over and drag and drop. So drag and drop is very useful functionality when you go for any automation, because nowadays we are mostly using the drag and drop. But there is the need to perform mouse over and drag and drop in a certain applications. So for that reason, we have introduced this feature. So when you use this activity, what will happen is it will locate that particular element as well as it will do the drag and drop. So it will be very helpful, like wherever you want to do the drag and drop and mouse over in a single action. So here you can see we have given you the sample screen where it will be applicable. So here you can see a lot of connecting points. So usually in this application we have to move the cursor on a particular arrow mark, and we have to drop an element on that. So for those need, we have utilized this functionality to automate this kind of scenario. Yes, Praveen, go next. So here you can see how it is constructed in the body. This is the structure of our body. Here in the left side, you can see the elements, versioning name, display name, description, and workflow, drag and drop. So you can see the element names, and you can see the actions like the type and drag and drop, mouse over and drag and drop, and click. You can see the actions also. And in the right side, you can see our activities. So here you can see drag and drop and mouse over and drag and drop is there. So wherever you want to use mouse over and drag and drop, you can use this activity. So this will be helpful where you have that need. So it is one of our recently introduced feature. Yes, we can go for the next one. And next is Consolidated Log Report. This report will be very helpful, like when you run more number of bots every day, and you want to check what are all the bots got errored and what is the error message. If you want to check it very quickly, this Consolidated Error Report will give you those information, and it will, you can check the reports on the screen itself. Like you can view the search criteria and you can check the report and you can see the output on the screen itself. And we have provided the option to download, because you will be having more number of records. It will be very difficult to check on the screen itself. So definitely we might need downloading features to go and check the errors. So we have given that option, so where you can download and see the error message, and you can see in which element it got error out and in which step it got error out. So it will give you the detailed information. Just go for the next. Here you can see we have added the screenshot of searching functionality as well as our consolidated log report also. So in the first screenshot, you can see like we have given all our search criteria. So we have the name and executed by executed time and what is the status of it and which connection it got executed. Like that, we have the different options where you can do the search and see what happened on the execution. And we have the structure of consolidated log report also, where we have the execution ID and playback name and in which sprint got executed and what is the connection and who was executed and when it got executed. It has a few more columns like in which element it got errored out and what is the error message. So it will have all those details where you can directly go through and see what is the problem on the execution. Yes, we'll go for the next. So we'll go for the next feature. It is our data migration reports. Like bots, the nature of the bot, as I mentioned, like it is going to launch the application and it is going to do the automation through the front end. So in data migration also, like creation of setup into the application, it may be Oracle eBusiness Suite or SAP system or Oracle Cloud. Usually the setup creation, we will not be having any APIs or web services. So the functional people will access the application and navigate through the screen, and they will do all the configuration. They will do all the setups. So for those kind of need, we have our data migration templates, setup templates, which you can use. So our smart bots templates will log into the application and it will create these setups into the application based on the need. So for that, we want to have the separate report where they want to have the combined report of all the setup has been done into the system. So for that, we have provided the option to download the report from the data migration component also. So it will be very useful when you go for any setup creation into the target application. We'll go for the next, Praveen. Yeah. So here we are going to see our enhanced validation on the report. So we have the execution report, and in the execution report earlier we had all the steps, like what happened on each and every step, and we had the screenshot option, and we have the execution result of verification and condition activities also. And here we did one small change, like where it will highlight the success and error of assertion and verification. If the validation got succeeded, it will highlight on the green color, and if the validation got failed, it will highlight the message on the red color. So it will differentiate the error message and success message in the report itself. So this is the enhancement for that. So we are going to show you how it will appear on the error report. Go for the next. Here you can see our success validation message. So here you can see it is in green color, and we have the failure validation message also. It will be on the error red color. So this is the change which will be very useful to when you check the report. You can easily identify how many validation got failed and where it got succeeded. So you can see all those information easily. Yeah, we'll go for the next one, Praveen. And next one is playback test run. So this feature will be very useful when you start the bot from the scratch. Like if you're going to create a new bot, so you have to do the recording and you have to convert the bot. So for that need, it will be very useful. This playback test run is like we have recorded the flow and we are going to create as a bot. So we have converted as a bot, and we need to make sure either this bot will work before we go for the actual execution. For that, we have provided the option like a test run, where you can just enable the test run and you can run it. So when you enable the test run and run the bot, it will validate and it will do the execution also. Say for example, if I have a number of fields, for each and every field, during the recording itself, we will be capturing multiple locators to point those elements. So when you do the test run, it will try to access those elements and it will perform the UI automation. In case if it is not able to locate the particular element from the assigned locators, it will try the alternate locators also during the test run, and it will identify which is the exact locator. And once the element is identified and it is able to proceed, then it will mark that locator as the final locator and it will proceed the execution. So once the test run is completed, and if you are able to do all the automation, then you can disable the test run and you can use it for the actual execution. So it will help you to identifying like why it's not executing, any locators problem or like that. You don't need to worry about it. So we are capturing multiple locator. During the test run, we will be validating the current locator is working or not. If it is not working, we will try with multiple possibilities and we will identify the proper locator, and we will allow you to proceed further with the proper locators. And when you go for the actual execution, you will not face any problem. So it will be very helpful when you create a bot from the beginning. So it will be very useful feature when you start from the beginning. So this is about our playback test run. So Praveen, go next. So this is a way, like in a playback definition, you can enable the test run option. So this once you enable, it will run on the test run mode. So it will identify those locators and it will help you to fixing on the locator values. So once you disable it, it will be act like a normal bot, so which you can use for the direct execution purpose. Yes, Praveen. So we have completed our session. So we are now into the QA part. So we have showcased you like what are all the features of smart bots and what are all our Q3 changes. So hope it will be very useful for you. So if you have any questions, you can post now.
Thank you, Purushottam and Praveen, to walk us through this webinar and the new features. So if you guys have any questions, please feel free to use the question window to ask them. Okay, thank you, everyone. I do not see any questions, so we can close this session. Thank you guys for joining the call.
Thank you. Thanks to everyone. Thanks for joining this session.